lecture, you might have learned many things in the past lectures, hope, and it will help you in future. So in this session, we will be going to learn about what are your career paths. Okay, so like if you are learning about ML, AI, so you might be wondering how would you start and how would you grow in this path. So today we'll tell you like what are your roles. Like if you are going to start for ML, you build a website like anything ML program or anything. So how will you build? How will you learn? Yeah, and what people do, where we use everything. So our agenda today includes first we'll be seeing their application in company. Then after that we will be looking how software industry careers are there. Like if you go for a software industry, you work as a software engineer. So how you'll work, like what they work. And after this we'll be going for like how these are growing day by day, what is the growth we see in data. Okay, and after that we'll see some courses you should follow so that you learn and one day you also become a good software engineer or a ML engineer or a data scientist. Okay, so yeah, so let's start. So application of ML. Application of ML you have learned in last classes, right? So you all are using Google. You know about Google, right? The Google. So Google has a very exciting feature which you might have used is Google Assistant. So how many of you like know how Google Assistant works? Can someone answer? Go ahead, anyone?
Is it through natural language processing? It uses NLP to answer questions.
Yeah, that is correct. So what basically Google Assistant does is, see, you are not typing in Google Assistant, right? So what we do, we speak whatever we want. Like if I tell Google, okay, Google, set my alarm. So Google basically first convert that speech into text. Then after that, NLP is working. It is okay, reading my command. Okay, yeah.
सर मैं कहता सर गूगल में सर बिग डाटा की जरूरत होती है क्या?
Big data is a different thing. Like Google में होती है, but in a different way, not for the Google Assistant part.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so this is how Google Assistant works. Okay, so initially they convert text like speech to text, then they process it, and then it gives you output. So slowly Google Assistant is improving, as you can see. Like initial now you can reply you like if you tell it sing me a song, sing me a birthday song, it can do anything. So you see how it is growing. Next is Google Maps. So how many like if you know how Google Maps work, like used to everyone has done, I guess, some other way.
Nowadays there is a new feature that you can see like satellite through satellite. That means like you can see real roads instead of this white lines and real buildings and all that.
Yes, sir. The Google Maps works on the way by which others take the road. Others take the road that the road from this location to this location is this. So
Okay.
Google Maps.
Sir, they give us the proper information regarding the.
So it also tells us about the traffic, that how much traffic is over at the route.
Yes, actually, yes.
And from there to
sir, it tells us
the
they also
path
tell to reach
computer vision, right?
So
they also tell the shortcuts if you miss any road. Computer vision.
Speak one by one, please.
Place where we want
Sir, they
to
also
go and
tell us the shortcuts
of computer vision.
Okay. So now I'll be telling all these things. Okay. So see, Google Maps, all of you know like how it works. It uses computer vision so that it can identify the path. Then after identifying path, it is like calculating, okay, this distance you are traveling, if you want to go from this point to this point. So what are the additional features? Additional features are like it can like tell you if you walk it, then how much time it will take. If you like drive through a bicycle or a car. So like nowadays the other features it is adding. So this is what we called as like updates. For example, now we can know like if you travel by through a metro, so how we should go. If you go by a train, how we should go. So this is how Google Maps work. Google Maps also use a good feature. If you will notice, for example, if I'm searching for a destination, for example, you can see in this map. If I'm going from a place, okay. So there might be possible for like if you are walking, then this path is good. But if you are driving through a car, then another path is good. This path might be jam for car. So even Google can tell this. So you see, like technology is going so fast, we can tell everything, and nobody is feeding this data in Google Maps. Like no one is manually writing this. This will happen. So machine is automatically knowing that. So this is the like creativity in it. Okay, so Google search recommendation. So you might have seen this also, that when you write SANF, then Google is giving so many suggestions. San Francisco weather, San Francisco Giants, San Francisco Valley, or whatever you want to know. So how does this work? Anyone wanna say?
So this comes under ML, like under machine learning.
Directly work on the basis of NLP.
Yeah, it uses both ML and NLP. There are some algorithms which learn day by day, and using the NLP, they like read and they suggest it. So what is happening basically? Like what is the logic behind? The logic behind is when you so when you like search it, okay. So what are the factors determining your suggestions, and what is the help of suggestion? First, let's see. So if you write SANF, many times it happens. If I'm searching for a word, I don't know its spelling, but through the recommendation, I come to know. Okay, this was the spelling, and this is the word. So yeah, this I was about to type. Google suggested that before, so that is the help. Okay, so how it is doing that? So it is like basis of the time. For example, if you're typing something in like when it is Diwali and you just type D, so it will like immediately show you Diwali. Like Google also knows like today like is Diwali or something like that. So people might be searching about that. Or example for example, if you are from India and if you search for some places, so it will show you very immediately the suggestions. Like Google know you are in India, so you might be searching for this. So this is like how the algorithms work, and the machines come to know, okay, so this is relating to this. Okay, so now Amazon is also a like very popular company. You saw from it, right? So Amazon is such a big company, like even Amazon uses MLAI. So today you can see everywhere it is. So yeah, Amazon product recommendation. How many know about it? What it is? Yeah, how it works?
Sir, if we search for any product, they will show us some recommendations from their side.
Sir, it
Okay.
works on
Sir, it may be
machine
on the
learning, sir, and once you search
experience or
something, the next time you open the app again, you'll get that recommendation.
Yeah, correct.
because of the public experience, or whenever we buy two or more products, so it automatically recognizes that what is a choice or something like that.
Yeah, basically, the thing is that, so how it recognizes your choice? So it is basic. It is using the data, right? It is analyzing your data. So what are the data it may be including? So it includes the data. For example, if you search for any product you buy, so it will note, okay, you are buying for this range. Maybe let it be 1,000. Okay, then if you, for example, you are buying headphones, so it will know, okay, you are interested in digital items, so it will note that. Then like if you like did you made cash on delivery or something like that, and then like it also shows how many times a month or year you are shopping, what is your frequency, what is your budget, like in a year how many you spend on shopping, everything the Amazon has. So accordingly Amazon suggests you the product, so this might be suitable for you. So this is a good way so that the customers keep on going to Amazon, and Amazon like sells more and more. Okay. So after this, we will come to Amazon Polly. So have you heard about Amazon Polly? Like people rarely hear about this, but this is also a good feature. like I hope like it is a bit not that popular feature, but it is. Yeah, I'm
Sir,
explaining
what is
that.
this?
Yeah, I'm explaining. Amazon Polly is basically speech to text feature. It is a feature like the same as the like the Google Assistant. Google Assistant, when you speak, like it recognizes the word, then it searches for it and it does your task. So same thing Amazon Polly does. Amazon Polly was before the Google Assistant, and it was at that time it was very popular for that. Even now it is popular. Like if you want to type a big para or a essay, but you don't want to like put your run your fingers on the keyboard, and you think like, okay, like I want to just speak and the like computer will type it. So Amazon Polly use them. So that also uses the NLP thing. After that, Amazon Translate. So Amazon Translate, as the word suggests. Some of you can say like what it may be doing. Anyone wanna say like what it does? Anyone has any idea or?
Sir, it helps in translation of
It translates one language to another.
in
Yeah.
in between
Know
different languages.
one language and want to know the its translation into a known language, so it can help.
So how it does, like how the machine knows, okay, what will be in Hindi of English, like anything.
Sir, by NLP?
Yeah, NLP is included and even ML is included. So like what it does, it creates mappings how for a word, let's say in English there is a word, let's say help. So in Hindi it can be mapped to mother. So like there are several mappings and several things, like slowly, like initially we teach to the computer what are the word combination. After that, slowly by telling it the sentence, okay, this is the sentence and this is the Hindi translation. So by this it learns the grammar. Okay, this might be the grammar, and after this word should come. So this is how like it learns and Amazon Translate. So it is also very great thing if you think like, okay, now we are so developed that we can tell about like we can convert the language one language to another just by like just through machines. We don't need to do that. So Facebook, yeah, you might have Facebook account and you might be going for watching videos and everything on Facebook. Yeah, you might have seen this people you may know in Facebook. Then you add them friend. Okay, I'm knowing this person. Okay, I'll add them. So how like Facebook come to know, or like who may be your friend? Is there anyone telling Facebook, or like Facebook has some
Mutual friends.
AI is
okay? Mutual friend is one option. Another.
Automatically detecting the
Sir, we can also search our friend ID.
which we have followed.
Sir, we can also search our friend IDs.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
it
You can
uses
search.
ML, machine
The
learning.
gets
follower
data
of
from the
our
context.
the follower
For
of the
example,
person
what
that we
someone
Yeah, wait. I'm not asking like what it uses, but how it works. Like how the Facebook is coming to know who is your friend. Like first way can
So
be
with the
your
help of
mutual
the
friends.
ML
It
AI,
gets our
the
contact
person
numbers.
who has most of the followers.
So sometimes
they
it's
may
having
be in a
also.
contact list.
See.
Sir,
so
I'm
with the
telling.
help
Okay.
of the
sir,
ML
like,
AI,
sir, I think like you have some friends, and the friends of your friends, you get the
Yeah,
recommendation as they
that
know.
one
The
boy said that
person who has
initially.
same followers just like you.
Not actually.
So
If you think,
it was suggestions. If we save that contact in our phone, also it will show it's your contact friend recommendation.
nice. This is a nice point. So now I will be telling you guys mute yourself once. So see, basically, what are the factors? First factor can be location. So if you are living in any place, for example, Kolkata, so people of Kolkata might be your friend. So that is a recommendation. If you work at any place, if you read in any school, or if you like if you recently visited to any hotel, or another people or person also visited, or if you both like play same game, maybe 8-ball pool or PUBG. So through that, like Facebook might know, okay, they might be friends. Or there are many other factors. Okay, so this is how the Facebook come to know. So I'm telling you the concept. Basically, I'm everywhere. I'm telling you what is the concept behind people who are coding and how the Facebook is coming. So next, personalized ads. So what is the concept behind, like how Facebook ads come to you? Like what all the factors Facebook see before showing you any ad?
On basis of data.
Yeah, data. Which type of data? Like what all data?
On the basis of what we buy.
Of data, like
Yeah,
we
what
have
you.
any account or like that, so it recognizes.
सर
Yeah.
सर
things for which
रिकमेंडेशन
we
का
are
सर
looking
मतलब
for.
समझ नहीं आया सर.
कौन सा? Which one?
सर रिकमेंडेशन का सर मतलब समझ नहीं आया सर.
Recommendation in above you can see people you may know. You may know what, like it is recommending you. Okay, this person might be your friend, so you may add him as your friend, and then you may like chat him, or you may see his stories, posts. So this is recommending. Facebook is suggesting you, okay, this might be your friend. So how it is working? So it is working based on your common links, like if you have same friends, if you have same location or same interest, something like that. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. So after this, personalized ads. So as we were telling about personalized ads, so this is based on the working. For example, if you go to any Amazon, okay, if you search for any product, and after that you open the Facebook, and after scrolling for some time, you'll see the same product is showing you as an ad. So how Facebook is coming to know? So basically, Facebook, Amazon, Google, everyone is sharing data among each other, so that if you go for one place searching for any other one product, you can get that product recommendation in other, and you can buy that. Who knows? Next is facial recognition. So this is working on the feature. Which feature?
With the ML and
No.
with the
Computer
ML, sir.
vision.
Yeah, computer.
Sir, ML,
Computer
sir.
vision.
Computer vision.
Yeah. So what happens?
सर
Yeah,
लेकिन
so what
सर
happens?
कंप्यूटर विजन ही क्यों है सर?
Computer vision, what it does, it identify images, right?
Yes,
So
sir.
agar, like if you will post any image, and if you want to know like what is this, whenever you post an image on Facebook, it get automatic tags. Okay, this person is this account, or this person is this account. How Facebook is coming to know that? So it is searching randomly for images, and it is like putting up the tags. Okay, so this is Rahul or whatever it is. So this is how so like you are recognizing an image. So obviously the computer vision will be used, right? Okay. So excuse me,
Yes,
just
sir.
wait for 1 minute. Sorry for the disturbance. Right. Yeah. So now as we were continuing, we'll be moving to the next slide. So next we are coming to how we transferred. Okay. So weather forecast. So this is working on the like computer vision. You have learned that in your previous classes, right? So this is how we came through the whole journey. Like initially we started with weather forecast. We were initially able to predict, okay, this cyclone is coming. You might have heard in news, like in Bengal, many cyclones come. They are predicted beforehand. The people are shifted so that we can save life. This has a very great effect. Even like in cricket matches, the week.
Excuse me, sir. Sir,
Yeah.
doesn't weather forecast work on machine learning?
Machine learning is a bit different thing than computer vision, right?
Yes.
See, computer vision is used to identify images, right?
Sir,
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, I wanted
But
Sir, in weather forecast, machine learning helps to predict the weather, sir.
Right.
yes,
Like
sir. That's what I was saying. Predict weather.
these are not different. Like computer vision, machine learning are almost interrelated. So that's why we are talking for those things together, right? So this is how.
Okay, sir.
Sir,
Yeah.
I wanted to ask that the Google form which would be sent to us at the end of this whole workshop will
So
be a
this
quiz
question we'll be
like.
taking at the last of the workshop. Initially, we'll be learning. After that, we will be giving time to you for this. Okay? We'll be
Yeah,
telling you all this.
it would be a quiz like or something different. It would be a question paper out of this whole workshop.
Like I will be
So,
telling you
so
everything.
basically, I'll just wait just few seconds. So yes, it will be a quiz on a Google form, and we will give it to you tomorrow. So today it won't be there, and we can discuss it more at the end of the session. Okay, and about the weather forecast thing, I think yes, you can use machine learning also. Like in the last session, I think we taught weather forecast by machine learning, but it can be of two type. So Priyam will explain you the how computer vision can help.
Okay, so how computer vision will help is like there are several images, right? You can see in this like we can identify the red spot or the green spot. The red spot is for the more violent air movement, or the green spot is for the low air movement. So everything we get, the data we are getting like we can compare it to the previous. Like if you want to compare, like initially any cyclone came, we have the data or the picture of that, like the satellite image of that cyclone and another cyclone, and we can compare the pressure. This is basically the pressure analysis or something like that image. So you can compare those two images and get the like what is the difference, like whether it is of greater intensity. So there can be
Excuse
many
me, sir.
models like. Yeah.
Sir, I was just I got a question like, what are the two components of AI? So one was deep learning, and answer one what was another?
Two components of AI. Okay.
Yes.
So I first you said deep learning. Another was neural network.
Sir, sorry.
Neural network. The machine
Yes,
learning
sir.
actually don't have actually just two components. It is made up of all machine learning algorithms and the deep learning, computer vision. It is combination.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Next is MRI imaging. So MRI imaging also uses the same thing, computer vision. You can detect, and also ML algorithms like to detect, and like algorithm will search. Okay, like if this is the image, this is the rupture, or like you can know. Okay, this the like this part of brain. Like see, a human eye can detect the images up to a certain extent, but if there are very minute errors, or there are very like such an error which a human eye may miss out. So at that case, MRI imaging is and the automatic detection of the any hole or any stone in that place is more efficient, right? So this is how it is. And next we are developing, and like some many companies are working on self-driving cars. About this also you learned in your last class, right? So this is how we came through the journey, and then we like learned about the Sophia humanoid. Sophia humanoid is like such a lecturer, like which is not the human being, but it is a lecturer. So this is a very great like discovery, don't you think so? Like a machine is coming to the seminar, machine is giving you lecture, and you are listening to that. Like it is better than watching a YouTube video,
Yes.
right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So okay, so this is image of a machine, which is an ideal machine, which everyone thinks like one day we will be able to make such a machine which can think, and that day we will be able to say like we have achieved a like real humanoid, like a real human, like to an extent. Okay, so this is a machine in the future thinking about like these were my ancestors, how I was made. Okay. This is how it is. After this, we'll be exploring the software industry careers. So, like, can you tell me what might be the use of a, let's say, game developer?
Sir, can I tell?
Yeah.
Sir, what is your question? Can you repeat?
What is the role of game developer?
Sir, game developer role is basically like he develops a game for all the people, and like it's basically job is to code the game, writing all the algorithms and all the code that is basically to create the basic structure of the game, and then he develops and then it goes to the Play Store or anything.
So in case of game developer, you are having a good name and you get to know it is. So let me ask you a bit tough one. What is a database administrator? Anyone knows?
Can you please repeat?
What?
So can you repeat your question?
What is a database administrator?
Can I tell?
Yeah.
Sir, database administrators are basically they are people like they use specialized software to store and organize the data, and their role is to plan and install the configuration and the database according to what monitoring and all that.
Sir, they
Yeah.
basically monitor
Sir,
the
data
whole database.
Okay. I got the answer. Huh? Like now I'll be speaking. I'll give you another chance in next time. So database administrator, yeah, as she said, its role will be so managing the data. Like if you think like Facebook, Amazon, Google, they have so trillions and trillions of data you can't even imagine. Like for each person, it is storing so many contacts, their gender, their mail, their shopping details. So you have so many data. So database administrator is having such a great role. Like, are you getting that so many data you need to manage? And even if one data like gets lost or something like that, it is a problematic thing. So it is having a great career ahead. And also there are other fields which my friend will be discussing. So I hand over to my friend Manasij.
Hello everyone. So we are almost at the end of our 5 days workshop. So there is Priyam has already discussed some of the career development. So first start with the software development. So what do you guys think that what skills can be required for a software engineers? Can you name any of the skills?
So basically, you should know like how to code. You should have a problem-solving attitude towards the problems, because when you become a software engineer, so basically you would receive problems on or the projects which you receive. In there, you basically need to write a code and something like things related to the code and stuff. And in there you need to have a problem-solving attitude.
Okay, so you guys can see there is 6 main components of the skills of the software engineer. So yeah, problem solving skill is something that you need to have to be into the company, and after that we can see that attention to detail. So whenever you are given some of the problems, you have to go to the depth of the problem just to analyze the problems. And you guys can see there is clear communication. So okay, can you guys can any one of you say that what is the communication takes part of these type of things? I mean, this is just a skillful job, so what communication takes part to be a good software developer?
Sir, can I tell?
Yeah, go on.
If you listen.
Yes, sir. Sir, in clear communication, it means that when you are creating a software, you alone do not do that. You have a full team and other members also. So you should be clear with what is your job and what is others' job. So that communication should be very good and nice. Then only a project can be made.
Yeah, exactly. So whenever you are doing a project or something like that, so there you can be divided into some of the groups of people. So you have to communicate with all your team members and have a good relation to do the work properly. So there comes the use of the clear communication skills. So whenever we are going to the other parts of the career path, there is always a points like clear communication skills. So this I have told you all these things about this. So I'm not going to explain it further. So another thing you guys can see, you guys have already used many of the apps, and there is after maybe a couple of days, maybe once in a month or after a couple of months, there is always a update option. So can anyone of you say what that is for? Why that is coming?
For the development of the app.
So as the field is vast,
That like as users use that app, the company comes to know that the flaws in the app and other features that might be added for the interest of the people. So in order to do that, they keep on pushing updates for the apps and websites.
So updates help the user to use the app
update.
easily.
Sir, updates are to make users aware of the new features which they introduced, as they have some improvements which could include some security updates about viruses or something else.
Sir, updates are there to give a very more nice that experience of the applications, as the company knows time to time that what is the requirement and what is the taste of the users of that application.
Yeah, so software engineers mainly look into the feedback of the users, and you guys can see there is something like whenever you are using an app, there sometimes come please rate this app, this type of thing. So this type of data they collect and they try to improve for the app. They try to rectify the bugs. So after rectify some sort of this type of bugs, there comes the developed version that is come to us as a form of updated version. So that is the thing. So after all this, so basically to be a good software engineer, you always need a good problem solving skill and use your creativity and I have mentioned the necessity of being a good communicator and to be a good team member, and also to take all the user input to be a good software developer. So after this, we will move towards another field. So web development. Yeah, can you can you guys say something about this? I think you guys have already used HTML, other this type of stuff. So what is web development like?
So web development is about developing a website in which everything is there, and then also to manage a server, so with the database, so that the best service can be provided to the users.
Okay, so yeah, almost there. So whenever you are going to any, there is lots of business around the world. So whenever they're almost all the business have their own websites. So web development is like this vast world. I mean, this is everywhere almost there. So there are web developments need some of the skills. We are going to learn about this. So there are two types of web development job. One is front end and another is back end. So front end is the client end, what you guys are watching. Whenever you guys are entering into a website, so you guys are watching the designs. So the basic work of a front end developer is to make the websites more attractive, so that you guys can log in number of times you guys are more interested to log in into the websites. So this is the work of a front-end developer, and when the back-end developer, whenever you guys are using a app or a website, so there comes the work of a back-end developer to make the websites more work effective and more the user will love to use the websites to gain some knowledge or do something. So here comes another questions for you guys. So maybe sometimes whenever you are going through you are entering into a website, they want for a password, or you have some of your login details, so they are want for your password. So what you guys think, this is the work of a front-end developer or back-end developer?
Sir,
Backend.
backend.
So backend
Backend
developer.
Backend, but the login screen would be part of the front end one.
Yeah,
Yes,
like
yes, sir.
the decoration part and all that would be making the thing attractive, the login page, that would be of the front end.
Yes, correct. So whenever you are having this type of features like asking for a password, this type of things, that is the dynamic websites. That is dynamic websites feature coming into play. So the websites is working dynamically, and we're asking for your password and this type of things. So that comes if it's in the login page. It's already also it's the work of a front-end developer. So what type of skills you need to be good at front-end developer and back-end developer? So to be good at front-end developer, you need some of the skills like HTML, and also this stuff that I'm called about the dynamic website. So for this stuff, you have to have knowledge of Java, JavaScript, this type of things. And to be good at backend, you have to be good at some of the Node.js and all this type of feature. So after after this, we are going to get the another career path. So yeah, that's, you can see that tools like Bootstrap is also there to be good a good backend developer. So yeah, so game developer, as many of you already discussed. So yeah, go on. You guys can say what is the job of a game developer? What do you guys think can be the skills that required to be a good game developer?
I think we'll need to be good in a lot of scripting languages. Like there are many game studios such as Unity, etc., in which we'll have to code, and possibly we might also need to be able to make 3D models which we can import in our game as well. And NPC development in the game, there are a lot of things to cover in it.
And sir, moreover, we should have innovative ideas like what and on what theme or on what basis we should create the game, and what features or the we can offer the game, or anything like that.
It also
You
needs to
should have
about
knowledge
the
about
3D
people's
and
choice.
2D.
Sir, can you go one slide back before web development?
So the job of the game developer is to code a game, and the skill which is the most needed is the creative thinking and the ability to make the things more interesting.
So a game developer needs to know things about the 2D and 3D animation softwares, and it's need to be a creative person. If it won't be a creative person, then people won't like it would be a flop game.
Sir, I think the game developer should have knowledge of the game trending. He should be creative, and he should have a game for games.
Okay, so that's
Should be
amazing.
aware of people's choice.
Yeah, so game developer needs some of the more versatile features. So whenever you are developing a game, for the logic of the game, for creation, you also need the programming logic. That comes the roles of any programming language, and there are lots of characters there. There are lots of things that had use of AI, and also there are the term called game engine. So game engine is basically the software framework that is working for the development of the video games, and there are maybe some of the libraries and also the support program codes that is already hidden into the libraries. So there comes some of the game engines. We can see that Unity, Unreal Engine, Godot, and this type of game engine. So you have to be good at using those game engines, and there is some of the other works like there you guys can see some of the animate things whenever you are in a game. So this, if you are good at all these things, you can be a great game developer. You can be very good at developing games, and that is one of the career path that you guys can choose. So after this, we are going towards the next and one of the most hot career path option for the next world. So this is data scientists. So I think you guys have already known about some of the recommendations engines, some of these, how this works. So yeah, data scientist is just about extracting the data and making a greater extent of thoughts from a data. Data is just a collection of some of the information. So whenever someone is extracting those information into a fruitful logical thoughts, that's is the work of the data scientist. So if you guys can see, there is lots of we will discuss about the roadmap that is need to be followed to be a good data scientist. And so before that, I need to explain to you guys that data scientist is just a bigger subset of AI and machine learning. So there may be some of the similarities. So can any of you guys say some of the big companies that associated with data scientists? Yeah, go on.
I think we'll include a lot of social medias here because they collect a lot of data from us to see how they can do stuff with their company, I guess.
Yeah, any other?
So we can take for game.
For game, who said for game? Can you please elaborate what you need to?
Sir, actually, I meant that if a game developer is.
I think we include the point wherever machine learning and AI is present via data collection to make it better for
Sir?
their data.
Yes, go
Sir, what
So to
is
name
the
few
meaning of
companies,
SQL?
like by name, to name few, you can include Microsoft because they have Gmail and many more such applications in which they manage this data. Mainly to name Gmail. So we can say Microsoft, and to name like
Sir?
some more famous companies in India, we have Oracle as well.
Yeah, so basically there is a company called Mu Sigma. So
Sir?
Microsoft usually yes, go on.
Sir, what is the meaning of SQL?
SQL.
So SQL is a structured query language which is used for data manipulation in big companies. So it is just a language.
Yes. Yes, sir. And sir, Chula, sir.
Yeah, this all the things written in the left are language: Python, R, Java, Julia, SQL, C++. All the things written in rights are also like are also software to demonstrate the insights or make some graphs. Like MATLAB, Google Go, and mathematics. So these are the software used to make graphs, and in the left these are the language which data scientists use.
Okay, sir. And sir, I will sir sir tomorrow is the test, sir.
Yeah, we will tell you about it at the end. There would be a quiz, simple quiz. We will let you know through the WhatsApp.
Google Form, sir.
Yeah, so yeah, through Google Form. First, continue the let's continue the class. Then we can discuss about it.
Yes, sir. Okay, sir.
Sir, a data scientist can also be present in the space science research. Sir, it can be a data scientist can also present there.
So they can think about what you said, the space science. Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, they can collect the data of the space. I mean, what can be the best way uh, to launch a rocket? So these type of things. I mean, data scientist is just is everywhere all around your world. If you just think about your 1 week, that week you spent last from the week you spent, you there is a collection of data, and so extracting all those data in a form of more thoughtful way, that is the work of the data scientist. Data scientists have lots of real life applications. So yeah, we will get to know it in the next slide. So in the next slide, so here comes the career and the roles in the industry. So I was talking about one of the companies called Mu Sigma. So Mu Sigma is somebody told about Microsoft. Yeah, all the companies use the data scientists to enhance the working of the companies, and also to know what the customer wants from the company to do. Data scientist is all about this. Have lots of uh, business. This has a big role in the business problem. So whenever you are using a product, there can be things you want to be added in that product to use it in a more proper way. So whenever there is some type of this type of problem, so in any big companies, they have lots of data, lots of lots of structures, and they extract all this data to produce the better quality product and to make the customers more happy to have and that obviously sells their products in a larger extent. So if you see, there are career roles in you guys have already know about the recommendations. So that is also the collection of data from the users, and analyzing it and knowing that what the users want to be recommended. So as I have already discussed about the real life, how you can use it in real life also, and so now I am going to explain what can be the roadmap to be a good data scientist. So first you have to know any of the programming language like Python or R, capital R, you have seen in the last slide, and learning you have to learn NumPy and Panda. This is the two features of Python. You have to be good at this. And statistics. So you guys have already known about this statistics. So in schools, so statistics is just to represent the data in a very good form, so that we can analyze it in a more better way. So data, if you are a good data scientist, you have to be more analytic in your logic to be a good data scientist. We are all seeing a bunch of data, but how you extract the data and making some of the conclusion, that makes you a step further from the other data scientists. So yes, you have to good at statistics. You have to have knowledge in data visualization and also the machine learning. And after that, if you do a project on all this, then you will be a perfect data scientist to go, who can work as a data scientist. There are companies like Mu Sigma, as I told earlier, Fractal, Breeze, i2i, these type of companies that have huge demand of data scientists, and in the data scientist is something that will come up as a big world of tech industry in the upcoming years. So after this, we'll move into the next career, that is the robotics engineer. So what you guys think, what would be the skills that required to be a good robotics engineer? Is it only programs or something else also we need to have?
Sir, can I tell?
Yeah, go on.
Coding.
Analytical mind.
Sir, experience.
Sir, programming mindset, and sir, robotics savvy.
How to design a humanoid robot.
I think for robotics engineering, a bit of knowledge about electrical circuits are also needed.
And solving complex problems.
More knowledge is required.
Yeah, I think robots.
Required and the logic.
So it used for engineers which design, test, and create and maintain the robots.
Yes, yes. So lots of great answers. Romok, I think said about the electronics part. So yeah, that many of you may think that what is the work of electronics, but it is there to build good robot that, because they are also electronically efficient to do something. So there comes the electronic and mechanical knowledge also required to build a good robot. And also there must be role of programs, as they need to do some work for the robotics, and they are going for according to the program that we have behind the function of the robots. So first you need to know the any of the programming language to develop the working basis of the robots, and you need to have a knowledge of mathematics that would help you to make some of the pattern of the program, this type of things. And you guys can see there is some there is automatic cleaning machines, that is one type of small version of the robots. These type of things are the small versions of the robots. And there is you need to learn one language, as I mentioned. You can go with Python, that is very user friendly. So after robotics engineer, we would have some of the numbers of the future growth. So here, just to make you guys aware of the upcoming growth of the of all these technologies. So AI service market is going to growth only in India by 35.8%. So that means almost 35.8% new jobs are adding in every year, and that is not in simple interest, that is in compound interest. Okay, so you guys can understand how much big opportunity is there for you guys to learn all these skills and be good at any of this domain, and be to be what you want to be. And there another stat is there that 40 that the machine learning market will grow by 42.9, almost 43%. So that means almost close to 50%. That really thinks that the machine learning jobs that is there now, that will be multiplied by 1.43 by in every year in compound interest in growth. So CAGR, you guys can see CAGR. CAGR means compound annual growth rate. So this is the compound annual growth rate of any of these domains. So another great data from the global consulting firm of McKinsey is that the Indian tech market will grow by amount of 300 to 350 billion in the upcoming years till 2025. So all these are just to show you guys that the future opportunity that you are going to have. So just do what you want to do in all these fields, and you guys can achieve many things. So after this, so there is a meme. So yeah, go on.
Sir, when will we be having our Google form?
That is not today. That is we will be having it in tomorrow, and you guys will also have the certificates based on that. So yeah, we will discuss about this in the in next few minutes. So just keep just be attentive. Yeah. So now Priyam will go take over and tell you about other details.
Okay, so have you seen the meme, right? Like you understood the meme. Anyone who haven't understood? Okay, seems everyone understood. It's nice. So now you are having a machine learning engineer mindset, so you're understanding the memes relevant to it. So now we'll be moving forward, and so you have learned all that, like what data scientists do, and like what is their role, everything. So now we'll be seeing like how they process the data, what is done, and after that we'll be like looking through what you need, how you need to learn data science when you're starting with it. Okay, so this is how it first it is obtained. You need to dig the data. How you're digging for the data? You're searching from internet. You may be having some forms to get the data or anything. It is a use thing. And after that, you need to scrub it. Scrub is basically cleaning the data. When you get the data has many like unwanted things. It includes the removal of unwanted observation. Like for example, you don't want the gender column in that, you need to remove that. Anything it may be. The handling the missing data. For example, someone has filled a form, but he has missed out his name, or like for example, his marks. And when you're taking the average of whole marks, his marks is missing. So you need to like instead of dividing by some number 15, you need to divide by 14. So such entries make discrepancy in the data, and you get the wrong answers basically. So you need to remove all the missing data. You need to fix them. You need to get good structures. Like you need to like structure in an order way, like the way in which you want to see the data. So this is how the scrubbing works. And after scrubbing, you need to explore them. Explore is basically like you need to see like which of the columns are relevant to me. Relevant in example. For example, if I'm for example, if I'm selling a product, a digital product, and I have a data, and that data contains a gender column. So the gender has nothing to do with the person will buy a headphone or not buy a headphone. It basically is like irrelevant to gender. So I have to remove that column. So this is like I have to do that manually, and after that, like I have to use a model. This is like the model built by any ML engineer, and after that I have to interpret the how will I interpret. So this is based on the graph. So as you can see this graph, okay, so this is like telling where the gender is low, high, where is the literacy rate in India, where it is not. So this is how we get the insights from the data, from the color of the charts, or maybe the height of the columns, or something like that. Okay, so this is how data science processes work. And after this we'll be learning some ML operations. So how a ML engineer works basically. So ML models are basically a type like see when you go for learning ML, okay, you need to learn linear algebra. So what is linear algebra? So linear algebra is a part of mathematics that is included or used in neural networks. So like these vectors, these are called matrices, right? You might have learned, or if you have not learned, okay, these are called as matrices. This 2 by 2, like the this rows and columns. So this is a matrix, okay. So like this, you have to process them, you have to deal with them. So the linear algebra is the math which deals with all this, and like you need to understand that. So first you need to learn the linear algebra, and after this you need to go for the machine learning task. So what is a machine learning task? So first you have to get the data set, then you clean the data. Cleaning data is same as what we did in data scientist work. Then you need to feature. Feature is same as what we did earlier when we were like selecting the which columns are okay for me. Like we remove the gender column, right? So it is the same thing. And after that, we split the data into two parts. First is training data, and other is new data. So what we do, using training data, we train the machine. Okay, so machine will get, okay, so if my input are this, I will give input, output something. So first we train the model. After training the model, we use the test data or the new data to check whether my model is working or it is not working, how many errors are there. So after that, we evaluate the model and we say, okay, now my model is built, it is working with this much accuracy. So this is how like prediction model work. First, we like some of the input we have to give, like the input and output, what it should be. Then the machine learns, and then it from the next time it gives output itself. So this is how it is. So this is how machine learning operation work. And after that, we'll be going to the computer vision operation. So computer vision, like mostly it was discussed in the last classes, these feature extraction and the visible layer, the non-visible layer. Okay, so and it is very similar to even the data extraction, the feature extraction, the classification. So yeah, deep learning is almost same, but it is a bit tougher than the things like you need to first know some of the ML stuffs and data stuff in order to go with the deep learning. So this is a simple neural network exchange. So the hidden layer is there, input layer is there, output layer is there. It's something like this. So now after going through all this, now you are ready to see this chart where I will be explaining you what all courses you should follow. So this is the most important, and pay attention. See, basically what happens, whenever you're coding a language, okay, you need to communicate with machine. So first thing, whenever you're going for ML or AI for anything, you need to first learn any language, programming language. And the most popular programming language in this field is Python. Okay, so first you learn Python. Python takes a time. You may be investing about a month or 2 months or something like that. It takes up time. You have to learn that. You have to master that your programming language. So there's a person in YouTube. He has a channel named Telescope. So you follow this person. This person has taught this very easily and very like interactive way, and you can learn that. So this is the course recommended. And after you learn Python, you can, like if you are going for data science, so you can start with it. And under data science, what I discussed initially, like you have to learn about studying of plots. Like you need to study graphs. You can gain insights from chart. Like for example, if I see a bar graph, I should be able to know what that bar graph gonna say me, so that I can like get the insights. Like okay, this data is conveying me this. So like the person, like for example, if it is a consumer base and we want to know the judge our customers, okay, so this person is nice, or this person will buy, or this person will not buy, something like that. And what is wrangling? Wrangling is the cleaning part. Okay, and visualization is the same thing, like getting insights through the chart. So you need to learn all this, and also you need the knowledge of statistics. So all these, for this there's a course which has a YouTube channel which has a logo like this, E then a exclamation mark. So this channel is named as Edureka. Okay, we'll be giving you all these things, so you can follow this course, and this is a very good course. So first of all, you should be like learning Python. Don't just go for data science, otherwise you'll be either getting confused and you'll be like ending up doing nothing. So don't do that. Okay, and after this, you'll be, if you want to learn machine learning instead of data science, then like going through Python, then you'll be going to machine learning. And in machine learning, you have to do two things. First is linear algebra, which I told about. It is the maths which is involved, so that you can understand what a algorithm is working. Okay. And after learning that linear algebra, now you'll be learning about ML algorithms, their application. So this is what it is, and you can learn that. Like these are two YouTube channels for linear algebra. You can follow Geeks Lesson, which is again a very like easy to learn, and a very beginner course on ML algorithms by Code with Harry. He's a very popular guy. You can follow him. He also uploads many technical stuff on YouTube, and you will love his channel. Okay. So after this, so anyone have any doubt? Like okay, in data science field or machine learning field, any doubt?
Yeah, Priyam, actually just continue it and we can clear all the doubts. It is already the time.
Okay. So now we'll be going for computer vision. So as I told, computer vision is a bit tougher part. So don't just go for computer vision. I will suggest you should go for and learn some ML algorithms and linear algebra before you start with deep learning or neural network. And for that, you can follow a course on YouTube by Chris Naik. And he's again like a very good. It is a very good course. I have gone through that. Yeah. So thank you everyone. Like we are now open to doubts and
So yeah, just